Welcome to the Athlete Insights Podcast, hosted by Yash Pad Day, a podcast focused on letting athletes tell their journeys in their sport. This podcast is presented by Boxed Water. Boxed water is better.
Welcome into another episode of the Athlete Insights Podcast. Today I've got my guest, Mr. Jon Kasper. He's the Senior Associate Commissioner, of the Big Sky Conference. So, Mr. Kasper, appreciate you taking the time on a Friday afternoon to spend chat with me.
Honored to be on the podcast and
Uh,
honored that you thought of me and excited to talk to you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, always kick it back with my guests to the beginning. And when you think about sport, when was kind of that first time you really fell in love with sport? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, probably when I was 5 or 6 or 7 years old,
Hmm.
I have been just a sports junkie.
Gotcha.
I went to college, or I went to grade school on a university campus in
Uh-huh.
Minot, North Dakota.
Okay.
And I remember, watching the football practices from the second or third story of our school, wondering what that was all about, and
Gotcha.
going to games with grandfather's dad,
Hmm.
to high school games and college games when I was just a little kid and played all the sports that I possibly could, including ice hockey,
Oh.
since I was in North Dakota, but I was not very good at that sport.
Yeah, yeah. And I see that I mentioned off camera that we both had. I got my degree, my bachelor's degree in journalism. I saw you also it's the same from University of Montana. But before we get to kind of that realm, any kind of youth sport memories that you have, anything that stands out in your youth kind of sport career of playing sport or watching sport or something that stuck out to you in the youth?
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of fast forward to high school, and
Yeah.
I moved to Montana
Uh-huh.
when I was 14 or almost 14 years old,
Okay.
and grew up. I went to high school in Great Falls, Montana,
Hmm.
and I just feel really fortunate that I had the chance to play at a high school that was a traditional football powerhouse.
Okay.
And we had a coach who was there ended up coaching there for 41 years.
Oh.
And I was his 20th year, and we won 10 state titles
Oh.
in 20 years, won the state title 3 out of the 4 years that I went to school there.
Yeah.
Our quarterback, my freshman and sophomore year, was a guy named Dave Dickinson, who led the Montana Grizzlies to the 1995 national championship,
Oh,
is in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. And
nice.
then my quarterback, my senior year,
Hmm.
was a guy named Ryan Leaf, who was the
Oh,
number 2 overall draft pick
yeah.
in the 1998 NFL draft behind Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Didn't have the greatest NFL career,
Mhm.
but I do hold the distinction of catching his first high school varsity touchdown pass. So,
Oh,
uh,
there you go.
that and winning a state title
Yeah.
are probably my fondest memories of high school sports, and honestly playing for Jack Johnson, the coach,
Yeah.
who I just learned so much about, in being a man, discipline,
Hmm.
uh, being a leader. So I have great memories of growing up in a place like Great Falls, Montana. Behind me is I keep that photo up there.
Yeah.
That's actually the Great Falls of Montana before there was a dam on those falls.
Oh, that's that's a unique high school experience that you had throughout your high school career. And can you talk about you started off you got your degree in journalism and in media relations even with the you were writing in Missoula before you joined the Big Sky. Even with the Big Sky early on you were part of their media relations team. What kind of
Yep.
drew you to journalism? What was that pull to sports journalism?
Well, I think number one, you realize the dream of playing shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers
Yeah.
isn't. I wasn't good enough to do
Yeah.
that, and
Gotcha.
just knew I wanted to be involved in sports. And
Mhm.
so, honestly, I was a broadcast journalism major
Oh,
and, had dreams of becoming the next Bob Costas
yeah.
or, being an ESPN Sports Center anchor.
Hmm.
So, but I did start working in newspaper.
Hmm.
Uh, I was a sophomore in high school, writing for the school newspaper, writing sports.
Yeah.
I was able to get a part-time job at the Great Falls Tribune
Hmm.
my senior year in high school. And then when I went to the University of Montana, I ended up working for the Missoulian as a writer
Yeah.
for 3.5 years while I was in college.
Oh,
And, when you graduate college and there's a full-time job sitting there waiting for you and they offer it to you as a sports writer, I took it.
yeah.
So ended up going the print route
Yeah.
and spent from 97 to 2000, the first game of the 2004 season, was able to cover the Montana football team,
Yeah.
which in Montana, where you have no professional sports,
Yeah.
um, the Montana and Montana State football teams are like the two biggest sport teams in the state. So
Yeah.
I was really young but felt really fortunate that I was able to cover the Montana football team for those years. I wasn't much older than the players
Yeah.
those first couple years. Actually, some of them,
Yeah.
I lived in my dorm my freshman year. So
Oh, yeah. Well, it's amazing how, I've looked at kind of done my research on you and kind of looked at kind of what you've accomplished. It's amazing kind of to see kind of what you've accomplished over your career so far. And then you mentioned with the Missoula 97 to '04, and then '04 you joined the Big Sky, and you've been with the Big Sky ever since. Can you talk about your experiences in the Big Sky, kind of what your experience has been like over those 20 plus years and
yeah, I
take
mean,
away?
obviously, there's been a lot of change in
Yeah.
college athletics, and
Yep.
I started as the head of our media relations department,
Yeah.
and I look at our media relations team now and how different the job is.
Yeah.
Social media didn't exist in 2004 when I first started here,
Hmm.
so I guess I'm more of an old school was, I not that, me and my team were the first to, develop the Big Sky Facebook page, the Big Sky
Oh,
Twitter page.
wow.
So I'm extremely proud of that. And
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of our current staff because they're so good at social media.
Yeah.
And we have a commissioner who, sees social media as a great outlet and lets us be a little different and have a little fun sometimes
Yeah.
on social media. But, because I grew up, from the time I moved to Montana in
Hmm.
1989, and I
Hmm.
was a sport junkie. I mean, I
Hmm.
kind of fell in love with the Big Sky Conference
Yeah.
because it was the conference that the University of Montana and Montana State played in. So
Yeah.
I feel really fortunate that I've been able to, stay at one place for 21 years
Yeah.
because it's a place I truly care about. I truly care about the Big Sky Conference in our schools. And,
Hmm.
on a Saturday, I don't watch SEC football or Big Ten football. I don't care about that level of football. I will watch, and it doesn't matter if I'm working here or not.
Yeah.
I will always watch Big Sky football as long as and pay attention to all Big Sky sports.
Yeah. And what's kind of one um thing like what's one thing that you would say that you've learned that you've taken away that you look back on that you've like I guess kind of what's your fondest memory? I know there's so many over those 21 years, but what's something that you've taken away from the Big Sky Conference over those 21 years?
Oh, I mean, one thing that I'm really proud of is, we've now had a neutral site basketball championship for 10 years.
Hmm.
Did it in Reno the first 3 years and in Boise the last seven. That was something the conference had never done before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I transitioned over to championships.
Hmm.
And so I'm extremely proud of what we have built
Yeah.
in 10 years. Um, and, there's still some of the older fans who long for the days of us going back to the regular season champion hosting.
Yeah.
But for a myriad of reasons, that just doesn't work in today's world. But
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of that and what we've able to accomplish. And I mean, just all the student athletes who've come through,
Yeah.
and it's not it's great watching them play, the Damian Lillards, the Cooper Cups,
Yeah.
who have gone on to, great things in the NFL and the NBA.
Hmm.
But I just love connecting with our former student athletes
Hmm.
5, 10, 15 years down the road and seeing, what they've done as human beings and as professionals and as mothers and fathers and making a difference in the world. So those are the things that I cherish, and will always really love about my position.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you mentioned the changing face of media and social media, and now you have NIL, transfer portal, all these different things that have come into the fold into college athletics, and the Big Sky has been at the forefront of that in terms of making great changes for the athletes and the really adopting that piece. Can you talk about can you talk about that and expand on that? How the Big Sky has really embraced NIL and adopted that piece as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's either adapt or die. It's
Yeah.
a great line from Moneyball,
Hmm.
one of my favorite movies, Adapt or Die.
Yeah.
And you just have to. You may not like it.
Hmm.
I don't love what's happening in college athletics right now, but as institutions, as a conference, you need to adapt to those changes.
Hmm.
I really feel our commissioner, Tom Wistersill, has done an extremely good job of navigating that for us, navigating that for our school presidents, navigating that for our athletic directors. And, we're in a position where we're never going to be able to pay student athletes the kind of money that they can get at a Power Four institution.
Hmm.
But the transfer portal does work both ways.
Yeah.
And so we're losing, last night, Cam Scatterbo scores 3 touchdowns,
Yeah.
New York Giants, right?
Yeah.
And people probably forget that just a couple years ago, he was the Big Sky Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Ends up going to Arizona State. But still extremely proud of him because our coaches at this level have to do a good job of finding that overlooked talent
Hmm.
and then developing that talent.
Yeah.
And, the world it is now, we lose a lot of those kids. And that's unfortunate because you would love to see those kids, those student athletes create a legacy at their
Absolutely.
schools, at
Yeah.
their conferences. But you also understand that even $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever it may be that they're getting, if not more,
Hmm.
from a Power Four school can be
Yeah.
life-changing money and, can change the course of their parents' lives. And
Yeah.
so you understand that.
Yeah.
And but I mean, we have schools that, they're able to be the Montana States where they are the biggest things in the state,
Yep.
they've got kids making NIL money, and we have student athletes at other schools making NIL money,
Yeah.
but it's never probably going to be what the
Hmm.
USC's and Oregon and
Yeah.
Washington, in the Western United States, and
Yeah.
all the SEC schools, Big Ten schools. We
But
don't compete with that.
I will say though, I echo you in saying that the Commissioner Wistersill has done a phenomenal job with how the Big Sky has handled that and kind of adapted to that. And that's why I said I felt like
Yeah,
when it came to the FCS, I felt that the Big Sky Conference was at the forefront and really adapting that. So that's been great to see. But
yeah. We
before,
certainly, I mean, we feel like we are the premier FCS football conference.
Mhm.
We depth wise,
Yep.
obviously we've got to break through and win some national championships
Yeah.
because it's hard to pound your chest and say you're the best FCS conference, but when North Dakota State and South Dakota State are,
Yeah.
winning the national titles. But we're very proud of the depth we have and how we how we operate in
Yeah.
the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I was at Northern Colorado, so
Yep.
I'm biased when I say this, but I really enjoyed my experience in the Big Sky Conference. So,
What
uh,
I love to hear. It's what I
but
love to hear.
no, it was great. So, but before we end the podcast, I always give my guests a chance to provide advice to the young, aspiring, up and coming people in sport. And so, wanted to give you that chance as well as to, if you were talking to young people, high school kids, middle school, high school kids that really want to get involved in sport, really want to get to that level of working at a conference office or working with an athletic conference. What's one piece of advice or one skill that you tell them to work on?
I tell everyone take advantage of every opportunity that's out there.
Hmm.
You know, when you get to college and you have interest in this, go to the athletic department, introduce yourself to the marketing director, the SID,
Hmm.
the equipment manager,
Yeah.
because they're always looking for, college students.
Yeah.
Um, Now, the money is not going to be there, but
Mhm.
you have to take advantage of every opportunity to meet people, to network, to show your worth.
Yeah.
It really is about who you know in the
Yeah.
business,
Hmm.
because I think people feel better when they know someone or they can call someone that they know
Hmm.
and say, hey, I know this person worked for you. I'll give you a great example. We have a program that we do at our basketball championship where we bring in about 20 students in March.
Okay.
And, um, we work them hard,
Yeah.
um, long days.
Hmm.
But a lot of them are sports management type majors or grad students. A lot of them come from Idaho State.
Yeah.
But we recently hired a new championships director and operations director who works directly under me. And she worked our basketball tournament the last 2 years as part of
Oh,
that program.
wow.
So we got to know her and we
Yeah.
saw her work ethic. Um, and we saw the passion that she had to be in this business.
Yeah.
So it for sure helped her get the position. And we had over 80 applicants
Oh,
for that position. So
okay. Yeah.
that's what I tell people all the time. Like search it out, search out the SID, search out the athletic director,
Yeah.
equipment manager, marketing, whatever you may have interested, compliance,
Hmm.
and volunteer, offer your services to help because the more people you know, the more people you have a chance to show, your passion, your work ethic, that helps.
Yeah, and it's like you said it well said. Like the more it's more about who you know rather than what you know. If you know people, the what you know and who you know kind of balance each other out. And if you
Yeah.
know people in the business, it only helps you out. And the networking piece is so key in our industry, in our sport.
I
Um,
would not be here. I tell this people all the time.
yeah,
When I was a journalist, I used to attend the Big Sky football summer media event, and at that
yeah.
time it was in Park City, Utah.
Oh,
But I went to that event 6 or 7 times when I was a journalist.
yeah.
But I got to know the football coaches. I got to know the athletic directors. I got to know the people that worked in the conference office.
Mhm.
And so when this position came open, no doubt it helped me
Yeah,
that people already knew who I was.
yeah.
I had a good reputation in the league, so for sure it helped me. And so that event that we now do in Spokane every summer,
Yeah.
will always be very special to me.
Yeah, and the Big Sky to me, I'll echo, and I said this a couple of times, is a very special place. Holds a special place in my heart too, because it's I really, like I said, I can't stress enough. I really enjoyed my experience in Northern Colorado and their athletic department and their with Darren Dunn and their athletic
Yeah.
director and really connecting with him. So it was a great experience being a part of the
And
Big Sky.
and I'll say that, I think that what makes the Big Sky special is the people.
Hmm.
And so many wonderful people that I've met. We're like a family.
Yeah.
And you've seen people write about it when they come to our football media event. And they say this feels more like a family than it does a corporate SEC Big Ten football
Yeah,
thing. So I'm glad you feel that way, and I know that even the people like Dennis Erickson,
yeah,
that have gone on to win national championships at the higher level. Um, they always feel such a connection
yeah.
to a place like the Big Sky Conference where they either played or started as a coach.
Yep,
And man, if you look around, we're there. We have a lot of Big Sky alums, former players,
yep,
former coaches, out there on the national stage doing big things. I mean, a lot of people don't know Andy Reid, who's
yep.
won, 3 or 4 Super Bowls now with Kansas City.
He was
In
at NAU.
1986, he was a assistant coach at Northern Arizona. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love those stories to,
yeah.
you know,
Well, and then Damian Lillard too at Weber. Now we got Dylan. We had Dylan Jones drafted to the Thunder.
yeah,
I mean, I think the Big Sky again is like you say is the premier, would be the premier in my eyes, the premier FCS or CS conference overall. But
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
all
and
the
I just love. I got a photo. I got a big photo of
time.
Damian up
I
here. He
yeah,
played here, and I was able to get to know him, and we
yeah,
did it. That's another thing I'm proud of. There's a series called Damien's Diary
yeah.
that is on YouTube, still
Mhm.
from his college days. That our Big Sky office produced.
Oh, that's nice. That's neat. It's a neat thing. So. But that's all the time we have for this episode of Athlete Insights podcast. Again, I want to thank Jon Kasper for hopping on and sharing his insights, sharing his story, his career, and his experiences at the Big Sky with me. And I'll have your social media, your Instagram or your LinkedIn and your Twitter kind of all kind of on the video and in the description for YouTube and Spotify. And then you can also follow my podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you get a podcast, you'll find this one. But Mr. Casper, I appreciate you taking the time and spending with me, especially on a late on a Friday. So
Well,
appreciate
we
you
do.
taking that time. So,
No, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Continued luck to you and continued success to you.
oh, you as well. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
we'll see you next time.